Good afternoon, race fans. Welcome back to the start-finish line here atop the overlook at Madison, Indiana, overlooking the race course here, the Bill Cantrell race course on the Ohio River at Madison. It is day 2 of 3 of the 2024 Madison Regatta, the Indiana Governor's Cup. Brad Luce here on the start-finish line. We had our break. We've had some food. We got most of our rescue and safety personnel taken care of, and they are working their way back out on the water, and our hydroplanes are being lowered into the Ohio River. Taking a look at our schedule, we're not necessarily on time here right now, but we're doing our best to catch up when we are ready. Next up on our schedule is our Pro Light Heat number 2. We will follow that almost immediately by our Grand Prix Heat 2A, and for what it's worth, our Pro Lights are in the water right now, and our Grand Prix boats for Heat 2A are being lowered in the water. We'll follow 2A with Grand Prix Heat 2B, then we'll come with the Pro Light Saturday Final and H1 Unlimited Heat number 2. H1 Unlimited Heat 2 is set for 4 o'clock. Not sure if we're going to get it in quite that quick, but we're certainly going to try. So coming up next, Pro Light Heat 2, then Grand Prix Heat 2A and 2B, the Pro Light Saturday Final, and H1 Unlimited Heat number 2. I'm going to take a look here, see if I have H1 Unlimited Heat 2, the rundown here, and I do. Our Heat 2 for H1 Unlimited that is slated to go off at 4 o'clock. We'll see if we make it, but when we get there, it's going to be boat number 1, the Beacon Electric, J. Michael Kelly. He will be in that heat and joined by boat number 40, Bucket List Racing with Dustin Eccles. Then it'll be Corey's teammate, J. Michael Kelly's teammate, Corey Peabody in the Beacon Plumbing. Those two squared off with Dustin Eccles and Bucket List Racing in the first heat. They will do so again in the second heat, and they will be joined by the U11, Miss Mercury's Coffee, and Jamie Nielsen. Sitting out our second heat will be the U91, the Goodman Real Estate, and Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate came up with a third-place finish in that first one. He got himself on the outside of the two strong boats, the Beacon Electric and the Beacon Plumbing, and it turned out to be a tall order to drive around both of those two, and he came home with a third-place finish. So the Beacon boats are off to a very, very good start, both J. Michael Kelly and Corey Peabody, but it's a long way to go. 5 preliminary heats. Everybody will run in 4 after everybody has done that, and we've completed all 5 prelims. That will be tomorrow. We will take the top 4 point getters, put them on the front row in a 5-lap winner-take-all final. So that's what we're looking at H1-wise. As I said, next up on our schedules, our Pro Light Heat number 2. They raced once already. Bit of a ragged start in that first one. Hopefully they'll get it squared away and have maybe a little cleaner start here in the Pro Light Heat 2. That will be up next. Then it's Grand Prix Heats 2A and 2B. And the Pro Light Saturday Final follows that. Then H1 Unlimited Heat number 2. The weather remains pretty much the same as it was earlier in the day. We still have a little bit of a breeze blowing up the river. Some of our smaller boats, specifically the Pro Lights, are going to have to be a little bit careful. But any boat that runs on a tunnel of air is going to have to be careful as we run down the front straightaway. That's when they will encounter it. In fact, the folks watching on the H1 Unlimited YouTube channel are actually getting a pretty good look at the water conditions right there. You can actually see the waves blowing up toward the Milton-Madison Bridge. As we did on the earlier heats, we'll be turning over the microphone to Jordan Bear and Jeff Ayler, the voices of the 2024 Madison Regatta. We'll turn it over to them for their coverage of that part of the program. When we get going to the H1 Unlimited side, Jean Thioret will come up and pay me a visit, and he and I will have some fun, as we have been having, talking about H1 Unlimited hydroplanes and their second heat of racing. So still lots to come here at the 2024 Madison Regatta and Indiana Governor's Cup. Pro Lights are next up. They are on deck. Stay with us. The boats are in the water, and our Grand Prix boats stepping up. Looks like we've got one of them in the water right now. Cranes are not moving. Yes, they are. Here comes the GP35 off of the trailer. As I say that, and our second GP boat will be put in the water. Right now, the GP10, the Charger, is in the water, going to be joined by the 35, the ride belonging to Brandon Kennedy. And oh, did he look strong both in qualifying and in his first heat. The officials are here. They are back. So we're getting kind of close to being ready to go here. Pardon me?
Trying to get the last guy in his boat.
Oh, we've got the boat in the water. There's one other accoutrement. Apparently we need a driver in said boat. Okay. Thank you, Sam, for that technical update there. Trying to get a driver in the boat. I guess that would be critical. So as soon as we do that, I'm assuming we're going to get on the clock here. Flag people seem to be in place. Rescue boats appear to be in place. I think we're ready to go. You're looking at the Pro Light sitting there in the water. One of them is Sands, the driver. So we'll check that box, and then we'll be ready to go. Jeff Ayler, Jordan Bear standing down to my right. They're ready to go. Thumbs up from those guys. I made a comment to members of H1 Unlimited as we were walking along the boulevard here in Vaughn Drive. For those of you that have been here, there are a lot of people here. There is a big crowd on hand for this 2024 Indiana Governor's Cup Madison Regatta. It's the 74th Madison Regatta. That's a pretty good sized number. So as I said at the opening, it is a tradition with a very, very rich history. It continues here this weekend. The fans love their boat racing in Madison, Indiana. If you've never been here and you are an H1 Unlimited hydroplane fan or a hydroplane fan of racing in general, it needs to be on your list. At some point, you've got to come to the sweet little town of Madison, Indiana. We've got a couple members of our H1 live stream crew that have never been here before, and judging by the smiles we've seen on their face, they're having a good time. They are some of the friendliest people on the planet. We've made a habit. A couple of members of our live stream team and I have made a habit out of having coffee every morning, sitting outside a little coffee shop, and we have met more people than you can imagine. Some of the people we actually call friends and see the same ones year after year after year. The only common thread to that whole thing is, and you're looking at me, Jordan, the only common thread to all the people I meet here, the first question I ask them after how you're doing is I ask them if they know Jeff Ayler, and they all say yes. So I think we got Mr. Ayler live on here. Jeffy, how was lunch?
It was great, Brad, and bless your heart, people saying they know me when you're in town. You look okay. You don't appear to be bruised and battered.
No, it's all been very positive over the years. That's why I keep doing it.
That's wonderful.
Most of them know you're up on Rikers Ridge.
Well, that's correct. That is a 100% accurate statement.
And you know what? I've been on Rikers Ridge this year.
Yes, we had a wonderful visit Tuesday evening, and it was great to enjoy a couple of cold suds at the kitchen table.
Is that what we did? Yes, we did. As a matter of fact, I've got even better news for you. We are inside 1 to the 5 for our second heat of our Pro Lights, and you know what that means? I'm going to officially welcome to the microphone and to the H1 Unlimited live stream and all the fans here on the shore, Jeff Ayler, Jordan Bear. Take it away, guys. Let's have a good heat. We are looking at our Pro Light heat number 2, sponsored by All Phase. Take it away, guys.
Thank you, Brad Luce, for the wonderful introduction. As you can see on the monitor and your screen at home, we're 5 minutes and 22 seconds away from All Phase Pro Light heat number 2 here at the 2024 Madison Regatta, day number 2 of 3 of activity here on the Ohio River. Jordan, we're coming back into action. The winds have subsided some. It picked up there briefly momentarily, but water conditions look a little bit better now than they did at the end of our first section earlier this afternoon.
Yeah, we were talking about some of the white caps we saw earlier. That wind was picking up, and it was fairly strong, and you saw some of the boats. Looks like they were about to go for another kind of ride there for a while, but it looks like it has subsided. Still a little bit of a breeze, but definitely not what it used to be. We are now officially into the 5-minute period. Boats heading out onto the water. We've got 6 boats here in the Pro Light class. Looks like 4 of them have made their way out on to the vessel. A 5th one, the 500, about to go out. Another one still waiting for the cockpit lid to be closed. Jeff Ayler, why don't you tell us about the boats that are here in this heat?
Thank you, Jordan Bear. The first boat down in turn number 1, the dominant red craft, that is the Hold On Loosely. Rob Betke is the driver out of Ortonville, Michigan. Rob Betke is 29 years of age today. The all-white boat behind the red craft, that is Dylan Godell out of Allen Park, Michigan, in the number 40, All Point Construction. Next boat in the sequence, a little bit more buzz to it on the back chute, the blue and white E8, the Wolverine, driven by Alex Magna out of Pinckney, Michigan. The red and black boat on the back chute is the Modern Drummer, the number 17, owned and driven by Jeff Sancour out of Marine City, Michigan. Dominant white hull on the back chute that won Pro Light Heat 1 earlier today, that is the Senseless 14, driven by Joe Less out of Grand Island, New York, and we're waiting Carl Adams' appearance from the dock in the E23 Maximum Racing. We're coming up on 3:15 until the start, and Godell doing a little timing run there. It is a clock start format, fight for lanes in Pro Light. Name of the game is to be at the start-finish line buoy before the clock strikes 0. If you jump the gun in Pro Light racing, it is a 1-minute penalty on your lapse time. This is an approximate 1 1/4 mile race course, 4-lap heat. And Jordan Bear, it's the first Financial Bank Wild Bill Cantrell Memorial shorter version of this track on the Ohio River. The Regatta Committee got with Pro Light and Grand Prix. They've moved it 700 feet to the east, and so far, that was a fabulous move.
I agree. You're seeing a lot more speed. You see a lot more of the straightaway here, like you said, really when they come down and cross the start-finish line. Okay, and looks like right now the 323 is having some radio issues, Jeff. That's what it looks like they're trying to work on right now. Hopefully they can get that corrected. We're at 2:15 to go here. Looks like Betke still trying to hit that inside lane. Now, last time around, Betke and Godell both jumped the gun and were assessed that 1-minute penalty. It's a shame because that was a whale of a race, but Rob Betke in the 55, Hold On Loosely. It's been here in Madison. It was in downtown on Walnut Street just a couple of nights ago. Betke trying to secure lane 1. We're under 2 minutes to go, Jeff, as they get ready to cross the start-finish line. We're just about ready to go racing once again.
Pro Light boats, 20 foot in length, 10 foot width, all powered by a stock 350 cubic inch engine. Straightaway speeds, I think we'll see here, Jordan, up to 100, 105, maybe 110. Joe Less coming up to join the field. Oh, it's getting tight in there. Ooh. But he snuck through Jeff Sancour and Alex Magna. And Joe Less has got his game face on the warm-up period, 120 away.
My goodness gracious. Everyone kind of held their breath for a minute because, man, that was a tight squeeze right there. But, again, you got to fight for your lane. Like you said, looks like Betke still has lane 1. But you look back, some slowing down there, it looks like, by Dylan Godell. And it looks like he's maybe trying to take lane 1 because there's Betke who just went on the outside. And now you see Godell trying to speed up. Jeff, we're under a minute to go. Again, it is fighting for your lanes, just like it is in the Unlimiteds. They're not assigned, but Godell tried to slow down and get that. Suddenly you saw Betke trying to pass him. Looks like you're going to start seeing him slow down, Jeff. We are at 45 seconds.
Thank you, Jordan. Unfortunately, with that move Betke made, he's a little bit early on the clock, but he's at a slower pace right now, and I think he'll be fine coming to the line. Unfortunately, Carl Adams at the dock, it did not start. Lane 1, Rob Betke. Lane 2, Joe Less. Lane 3, Dylan Godell. Lane 4, Jeff Sancour. Alex Magna on the outside. 18 seconds until the start. Jordan Bear from WORX, bring him to the green flag.
Yes, sir, Jeff Ayler. We are at 10 seconds to go here till the start. Betke going to start picking it up a little bit. We're at 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, we're racing, and we're going to call it a clean on the water. We'll let you know if we hear any calls, but it is the Magna, the Wolverine leading them across the line. It is Betke on the inside, Jeff, as they come around. Good start, legal start is what it's been called, Jeff. So we got what we got on the course.
Good start. Their leader is actually Dylan Goodell in the all-point construction. Goodell had a smoking start. Joe Less in second. Rob Betke in third, followed by Sancure and Jordan deck to deck in turn 2, first time around.
Here we go, and Joe Less is trying to catch him. Less has the shorter course around. Betke's right there as well, but there's Joe Less. He's trying to catch Goodell. They are deck to deck once again. Can Less catch him on this turn, or is Goodell going to be able to hold him off? It's still Goodell holding the lead by about 1 boat length, but right behind him is Joe Less in the 500, but they come down to complete lap number 1, about a rooster tail length for Dylan Goodell. Rob Betke then comes across in third place, followed by Sancure in fourth, and then you have Alex Magna in fifth. We got a great race up at the top, Jeff.
Beautiful dueling here in all-phase Pro Light Heat number 2. Goodell nailed a start, but Joe Less has his work cut out for him. Lap and a half in, 2.5 to go, and now Jordan Goodell extending the lead in the all-point construction out of Allen Park, Michigan. Now it looks like Joe Less has backed off. He'll take those second-place points to transfer into the final later this afternoon.
And it again, Dylan Goodell, what a start he had, getting a little light there in turn number 2. He comes across and looking once again to the line. He is trying to complete another lap, keep that on the water. What a race so far by Dylan Goodell, again, whopping those spots to the left and right as he still sits in first place. Right behind him is Joe Less, but don't look now, Jeff Ayler. Looks like Betke's trying to catch him in second place. We got a great race for second.
Boy, Goodell comfortably in front, and Rob Betke has come up on the outside in the hold on loosely. So this battle for second place has still got to be decided here in all-phase Pro Light Heat 2. It's all Dylan Goodell in front. Jordan off the turn. There's Less, and Betke's only back 7 boat lengths.
And again, Goodell looks like unless something happens, he's going to be able to cruise to the victory. He'll be looking for a white flag, but Betke's trying to catch him, and Betke has passed Less. So Rob Betke now in second place, and he's going to try to hold it there. Goodell comes down. He's looking for the white flag, and there he sees it. 1 lap to go, 3 down. So they're going to be looking for the checkered flag. Suddenly, you look at Less. He has lost some power because right now, Rob Betke, not only has he taken the lead, about a 2 rooster tail lead, Jeff Ayler.
Final lap for Dylan Goodell, your leader in the all-point construction. Rob Betke completes his third lap, in second in the hold on loosely. And Joe Less, veteran pilot coming back to the sport. I think he's just gingerly taking it easy, trying to keep the senseless 14 together. 1/2 a lap to go for Goodell in front.
Goodell, man, he looked awfully impressive again. He was a gun jumper in the first race, which allowed Joe Less to grab the victory as we get the 8 Alex Magna coming across. But right now, Dylan Goodell, he goes around at turn number 2, keeps the boat nice and easy on the water, doesn't have to kill it. He is very comfortably in the lead. There is the checkered flag. Your winner of all-phase heat number 2 is Dylan Goodell in the 40 all-point construction.
And now we might have a battle for third. Here comes Sancure, Jordan. He's about to take over Less.
Oh, Sancure trying to catch him again. Less has the inside lane. Are we going to have a race for third as Rob Betke comes across to get the checkered flag for second place? Sancure's trying to pass him. We're going to have a race for third potentially. Right there, Less on the inside, Sancure to the outside. They're coming down. They're deck to deck. What are we going to have? Sancure looks like he may have him. He passes him there toward the end, and third place is going to be Jeff Sancure. He passes Joe Less on the final home stretch in the, in the 17 Modern Drummer. Senseless 400 Joe Less. He'll have a 4th place finish. 5th place goes to the Wolverine, Alex Magna. Jeff, some back and forth racing there throughout all-phase Pro Light Heat number 2.
Interesting. Our Pro Light Heat 1 winner earlier today, Joe Less, comes up in 4th place here in all-phase Pro Light Heat number 2. And Alex Magna did cross to get 5th in the Wolverine. So, all-phase Pro Light Heat number 2, your winner, Dylan Goodell, Rob Betke in 2nd, Jeff Sancure in 3rd, Joe Less in 4th, Alex Magna in 5th, and a did not start to Carl Adams. Thank you, Tana. We got it. No calls. Tana Morissette has been wonderful with H1 Unlimited, feeding us with information all weekend, and the whole staff as well.
Man.
And Scott Davidson, WORX, my old cohort, that's an ink.
That is an ink. A great job, a great race by Dylan Goodell. Again, the winner of All Phase Pro Light Heat number 2. Goodness me, what a race. Some exciting racing there. A nice job by Sancure, who really looked way out of it and was able to catch Joe Less there on that final stretch. Glad to see all 5 boats finished without any issue there. Again, unfortunate about the 323 with Carl Adams. Again, they said they were having some radio issues. Hopefully they'll get those corrected for later on today. But again, Dylan Goodell, the winner in Pro Light Heat number 2.
And we'll see the Pro Lights later today in their championship heat presented by Cruisin' Auto. Right now on my watch it's 3:25. That obviously 3:35 start time will be pushed back. But we're back rolling, so hopefully the schedule will continue on a good flowing fashion and get day number 2 of 3 of the Madison Regatta in the books. But Jordan, tomorrow, Sunday, that's the big day.
That is the big day. We got loads of racing tomorrow. We'll have probably some testing a little early in the morning, but then it's all racing throughout the entire day. We had the time trials for the Grand Prix this morning, which was a lot of fun to watch. First time I've ever been able to see that in person. We've had some great Grand Prix racing so far, and we got some good ones coming up. We got heats 2A and 2B coming up here momentarily before we get to our Pro Light final, followed by the last race of the day, of course, Unlimited Heat 2.
Unfortunately, we do have some news to pass along to our audience on the World Wide Web, watching at H1 Unlimited through YouTube. And, of course, our fans here along the shoreline. Ken Lupton out of Waverly, New Zealand, scheduled to go in lane 3 here in GPA 2A, sponsored by Liberty in a Can. Sponson damage here on the Ohio River. Ken is a scratch for the rest of the weekend, and I'm sure they'll leave immediately as soon as possible to make repairs, more than likely, up at Bert Henderson's shop in Brockville, Ontario, Canada, so they can get ready for the inboard hydroplane Super Bowl next weekend in Valleyfield, Quebec, Canada. Bert Henderson, if you're listening, I hope you're healing well. We're all pulling for you. And I told my friend John Tomey on the phone that evening, Jordan, who I do races with on occasion. John's from Cambridge, Maryland, and first thing I said, we can't lose Bert.
No, we cannot. He's been such a great driver, great ambassador for the sport. Really, really unfortunate there. Obviously, we wish him well as they get ready for Valleyfield next week. Now, Jeff, we look at a couple of the boats here. To me, obviously, Bobby King and the Miss Freedom presents Diego's Mexican Grill. They obviously had a DSQ for what happened earlier when their boat died. They are right in the race lane. Let me tell you what, when you can have this boat, the 50, if it can stay on par, then you got the 35, of course, River City, Printing. We could see some dynamite racing here potentially, and they got to start on the outside for this race too.
Well, with that unfortunate did not start right now, Bobby King needs a must-win here. He wants to garner as much points as he can for that Don Less-owned craft out of Grand Island, New York. Freedom Racing presents Diego's Mexican Grill. We still got a good one coming up here. We got Richards Racing in lanes 1 and 2 with Tyler Eccles in lane 1, Kevin Eckert in lane 2. Bobby King will be in lane 3, but Brandon Kennedy so far this weekend, that GP 35, River City Printing presents Sunrise Party Cove. So far, he's the class of the field, and Brandon wants to score as well. Could he drive around the field in lane number 4 and get those points in front?
He could, and you know, we've seen boats from the outside lane win from there before, and Brandon Kennedy has been unstoppable, not only today, but of course last week in Gunnersville. He was incredible. Brad and Erica did such a great job last weekend calling the Grand Prix. Brandon Kennedy had a dynamite run. We'll see if he can keep that up, and we'll be able to keep that up. We are inside 1 to the 5. Inside 1 to the 5 for Grand Prix Heat 2A. Presented by Liberty in a Can. Grand Prix Heat 2A presented by Liberty in a Can. And we got 4 boats here. Again, unfortunately, the 577 Lucas Oil unfortunately had to withdraw. But again, now under 5.5 minutes to go, Jeff.
Coming up on 5 minutes and 25 seconds away, Liberty in a Can Grand Prix Heat 2A here at the 2024 Madison Regatta. It has been an absolute beautiful day here weather-wise. Low humidity, temperatures in the 80s. Matter of fact, with modern technology now that I gained in late 2020, it's 83 degrees here in Madison. 5-minute period has begun. Jordan Bear, drivers, crank them up.
Yes, sir. We are ready to go here. I will identify our drivers here for Grand Prix Heat 2A. We have the GP17 Miss Renee, the red, white, and blue, driven by Tyler Eccles. We have the GP10, the Charger, the red boat, driven by Kevin Ekrit. The 50, Diego Freedom presents Diego's Mexican Grill. Another kind of red, white, and blue boat there. And then we got River City Printing, more red, white, and blue as well, driven by Brandon Kennedy. So 4 boats out there. The Miss Renee, who's had some engine issues throughout the day so far. He's heading out Jeff Baylor. Hopefully he can stay up so we can have some good racing here.
4:10 until the start. Liberty in a can. Grand Prix Heat 2A. All 4 boats left the pit dock. We're 4 minutes away. First one up in turn number 2. I think must-win situation. They need to get some points in the second and third heats to hopefully get a good lane in the Hoosier Nationals Championship tomorrow afternoon. That is Bobby King in Freedom presents Diego's Mexican Grill, hull owned by Don Less out of Western New York State.
And he looked awfully impressive earlier. Back in his earlier heat, he won Grand Prix Heat 1A, and he is on the outside for this race. Again, you talk about the staggering. Now they got to go outside for this race. Right on his inside, that's going to be Bobby King in the Freedom presents Diego's Mexican Grill. So we could have some dynamite racing here. Miss Renee and Tyler Eccles, he comes across. He's going to be in lane 1. Then, of course, lane 2, Kevin Ekrit in the Charger. We are at 3 minutes, 10 seconds left, Jeff, before Heat 2A.
A little bit of cloud cover over the Madison area right now. We look to the west and scattered clouds, and makes for a little bit better view for us. We not as bright on the eyes. We do have the shades on as we're 2 minutes and 50 seconds until the start. Liberty in a can, Grand Prix Heat 2A here at the Madison Regatta.
Coming down once again are King and Kennedy. Again, Brandon Kennedy on the outside, Bobby King on the inside. Is anyone going to be able to dethrone Brandon Kennedy? That boat's got a lot of speed. You see it right there as it comes across lane 4. Right behind him is Bobby King. Again, you still got to time your start. We're at 2 minutes, 20 seconds left, and unfortunately, Miss Renee has gone into the infield again.
Boy, that's a tough break, but the positive is he's in the infield, and the current does go left to right here in Madison with our viewpoint on the Indiana shoreline. So I think we're safe to keep on going here in this warm-up period. 2 minutes. 2 minutes until the start.
Kudos to Eccles for realizing that and going to the inside of the course as well.
And that makes things easier for Kennedy on the outside. Less boats to cover to his inside.
Absolutely.
To possibly get the heat win.
A minute 40 to go. A minute 40 to go until we are ready to go in Grand Prix Heat 2A presented by Liberty in a can. They're coming down the raceway again. Unfortunately, the Miss Renee on the infield there. But coming down, so that means on the inside lane, you'll have Kevin Ekrit in the Charger. We are under, Jeff, 90 seconds until the start of the race.
Thank you, Jordan. Everyone well behaved by the start-finish line buoy. Once again, it's assigned lanes. Clock start in Grand Prix. This is the HRL GPA Challenge. It concludes next weekend north of the border up in Valleyfield, Quebec, Canada. They will run for the Hoosier Nationals tomorrow here in Madison. 1 minute until the start, 1 minute away. Right now, Jordan, assigned lanes. If you jump the gun, it's a 1 minute penalty on your elapsed time in Grand Prix hydroplane racing.
45 seconds to go now. Boat slowly creeping up the backstretch. You see the speed there from Brandon Kennedy on the outside. So Ekrit on the inside. Bobby King in the middle. Brandon Kennedy on the outside. Again, can Ekrit try to take advantage of that inside lane? It is a lot of speed on the outside, so he knows he's got to nail that start perfectly because he knows he's going to have 2 boats right behind him. We are under now 25 seconds to go. Jeff, bring him to the start.
Thank you, Jordan Bear. All 3 up in turn number 2. I think this will be a good start. No need to risk your points here in Liberty in a Can Grand Prix Heat 2A. 8 seconds. Now the rooster tails rise. We're 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, triple boogity, we're racing. Liberty in a can, Grand Prix, G2A, King and Kennedy there at the line, Ekrit back in turn number 1 the first time around. Bobby King, your leader. Brandon Kennedy is there. Jordan off the turn, there's King. There's Kennedy back, deck to deck.
Deck to deck, and Kennedy trying to catch him. Now they're right there. Kennedy's taking a little bit of a lead, but King's got the shorter track around, but Kennedy's got the most speed. Can King take advantage? He's got to stay really, really close to that buoy line. Kennedy got to go way to the outside. Jeff Failer as they come down to complete lap number 1.
Clean racing here in GPA. HRL, Heat 2A, Liberty in a can. Now Kennedy pulls out. River City Printing presents Sunrise Party Cove, making about 7 boat lengths, but Bobby King, the real estate advantage on the inside. In the Freedom presents Diego's Mexican Grill, but right now, Jordan Bear, I think Brandon Kennedy saying bye-bye.
He is, looks like it. He is now extending it to more than a rooster tail, but Bobby King not letting up. Bobby King still a lot of speed. King's got the inside lane, but let me tell you what, Kennedy's doing a great job not using as much water on the outside. So King's going to try to catch up with him, but a lot of speed there by Brandon Kennedy, Jeff, for lap number 2.
Coming down at the halfway mark, and King has closed it. Halfway through, GP 2A, brought to you by Liberty in a can. We still got some action up in the front. Brandon Kennedy can't tuck in enough to cut in front of Bobby King. Top 2 in turn number 1 off the turn. Jordan, we're 2.5 in, lap and a half to go, and King is still there.
King's still there, and he's trying to cut into it, but Kennedy's got a lot of speed, but King's doing a great job. He had a great turn. He's going to try to get this turn because they're going to be looking for the white flag. Everything was clean at the start. A little bit of a whop there by Kennedy, but King's got the inside lane, and he's trying to catch up with him, Jeff, as they look for the white flag.
White flag displayed, Liberty in a can, Grand Prix, Heat 2A at the Madison Regatta. Kennedy accepts it, flies it across the line in front. Boy, Bobby King not giving up, and Freedom presents Diego's Mexican Grill. Kevin Ekrit remains in third in the Charger. The top 2 off turn number 1, and Jordan, if Kennedy, say if that foot slips off that throttle, King will be right there.
King will be right there. He cannot let up because King's not letting him. King trying to catch him. There's a lot of speed there on the inside, but Kennedy's right there. He's got a rooster tail lean. He's got to have a really, really good turn. So does King. He's got to try to catch him. King on the inside, Kennedy on the outside as they come for the checkered flag.
Final turn, final lap. Brandon Kennedy, Liberty in a can. Heat 2A, it will go to Brandon Kennedy. Make it a boat length and a half over Bobby King. Brandon Kennedy wins it, and River City Printing presents Sunrise Party Cove. Bobby King second, and Freedom presents Diego's Mexican Grill. Kevin Ekrit up in turn number 2 in the Charger. Kevin Ekrit out of Edmonds, Washington, driving for Richards Racing out of Snohomish, Washington. And Kevin Ekrit will cross and get third place points in the Charger. So Brandon Kennedy, perfect on the weekend, your top qualifier in GP at 123.977. He was a Heat 1A winner, a Heat 2A winner, looking for 2 more perfect ones, and you know what that means. You're a Hoosier Nationals winner in Madison.
Absolutely. Man, oh man. Jeff, what a race that was. That was fun. And I know the fans along the shorelines, the fans watching on the H1 Unlimited stream, that is what hydroplane racing is all about right there. Bobby King, you could see him trying to catch it. Brandon Kennedy's got some great speed, though, on the inside. But King about caught him on that last lap. But kudos to them for the great job they did. Brandon Kennedy, man, it's going to take a special, special boat to catch him. And we still got more racing to go, Jeff, here coming up in GP Heat 2B.
Brandon Kennedy back to the Red Ball Recycling pit dock along with Bobby King, in the GP 50. Freedom presents Diego's Mexican Grill. Thank you, Tana. No calls in Liberty in a can. GP 2A. Kevin Ekrit coming back to the Red Ball Recycling pit dock. In the Charger, we'll let the noise subside because Brad Luce, you'll want to hear this. I got a message from a very important individual involved in this sport as the Charger engine comes off.
looks like they're going to have
Oh, thank you, Brad. Good run. Bobby King and Brandon Kennedy just shook hands, and great sportsmanship there. King walked clear down the dock to greet the winner, and that's what you do. Wow, great to hear from Bert Henderson. Brad, Bert is up chomping at the bit. He's home in Brockville, Ontario, Canada. Feet up. He's chilling with a cold brew watching our coverage at H1 Unlimited via YouTube. Bert, great to hear from you. Keep getting better.
That's it.
Get to Valleyfield. You might have some boats to fix in a jiff.
There you go.
Man, oh man, what a great race that was. I know the fans were into it. You could hear them on the shorelines. That was a lot of fun. Bobby King, a guy who we'll see, well, a lot of people did, but a guy who we will see drive an Unlimited on the West Coast, I believe. Is that correct, Brad Luce? And he will be driving the Graham Trucking out on the West Coast for Tri-Cities. That's coming up the last weekend in July. Of course, you'll hear Brad once again. You hear Brad everywhere where there's boat racing, but man, oh man, what a fun race that was. Getting ready for Grand Prix Heat 2B.
We're moving right along, and boy, on our schedule, I know the pro lights were just out here, but they're supposed to be up next after GP2B for their final, so we'll see if they get refueled and go back into the drink real quickly on the Ohio River. And we still got one more Unlimited heat coming up, presented by Rivertown Bar and Grill. That will be H1 Unlimited heat number 2. Jordan, while we got a break in the action, could you go over our sponsors that's helped us here at the 2024 Madison Regatta?
Absolutely, I can, Jeff Failer. A big thank you to our great sponsors, Aaron's Rent to Own of Madison, Building Analysis Services, Craig Toyota, Clifty Engineering, ETC, First Financial Bank, German American Bank, Morgan Foods, Nucor of Madison, Rivertown Bar and Grill, Ruoff Mortgage, Morgan Foods, Shipley's Tavern, Domino's Pizza of Madison, Licklighter Solution General Contracting, Thornton Terrace, and Walnut Ridge Family RV. Thank you so much for your support of the Madison Regatta.
And we have 4 other sponsors we've been mentioning quite frankly this weekend. We have a Judges Stand sponsor, a pit area sponsor, a pit dock sponsor, and a race course sponsor. Fill us in.
Absolutely. German American Bank has stepped up to sponsor the Judges Stand this year. We have the David Lee Memorial Pit Area. Obviously, we miss David. Red Ball Recycling Docks, and then, of course, the First Financial Bank Wild Bill Cantrell Memorial Racecourse. Again, we're waiting for Grand Prix Heat 2B. They are going to tow in the Miss Renee. I just heard the officials say go ahead and tow him in, so that's why we are not firing up the boats just yet. They wanted to go ahead and tow the Miss Renee in. Obviously, unfortunate there. We were hoping he was going to be able to get going there, but again, ran into some issues. So once we get the Miss Renee, it's getting close to the deck area now. Once we get the rescue boat back out, then we will be good to go as far as Grand Prix Heat 2B goes.
We got 4 boats set to go, and Jordan, you see the list there. Go ahead while we're waiting. Our fans and our viewers watching at H1 Unlimited via YouTube, we got the lane assignments. Take our way.
Absolutely. We have got in lane 1, it'll be the GP15, the Old Trapper Beef Jerky, helped by Super Shine, Greg Hopp. The GP71 at Miss Liberty in a can, Kent Henderson. We have the GP33, Jack Lupton Motorsports, driven by Jack Lupton. And then outside, it's the GP79. The Dam family presents the Bad Influence Reliable Diamond Tool. Again, that is your lineup for this race. Of course, Jeff Bernard's got to be on the outside lane. We saw him have a great start in his last race. We got 4 boats on the dock. Of course, Kent Henderson in the Miss Liberty in a can. He had a DNF his last time around. So hopefully he got whatever issues he had fixed. But curious to see what old Greg Hopp will do from lane 1 here in this race. Again, Jeff Bernard outside, and the Dam family presents that Bad Influence Reliable Diamond Tool. Of course, a boat that we know has got a lot of speed there. Let me tell you what, I'm waiting for the race when I could potentially see Bernard, King, and Kennedy out there on the race course. That could be fun to watch.
That'll be fun. Jen Henderson, thank you for the photos, and Bert was correct. He is chilling in Brockville, Ontario, Canada with a cold one. enjoying the coverage at H1 Unlimited through YouTube. And, Bert, when we conclude this today, I'll be joining you with the Cold Suds here in Madison.
Yeah, I'll be out closer to DuPont, but, you know, we'll call it that, Jeff. You're not going to come swim with me, and you could have had a cold one with me while we're in the pool, but that's okay, though.
I don't swim.
You don't swim? You can't swim?
I don't like getting in the water, but I love announcing hydroplane races.
You love announcing hydroplane races. Well, I am right there with you. I love announcing hydroplane races as well, and we're having a blast.
So it is true. I am twisted.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, we don't have 3 hours. I can't go into that. But, I mean, it has been, either way, a great time down here. Of course, everyone from H1 Unlimited, Tana Morissette, everyone here, Brad Luce, all of them have been so great to us. Mike Denslow, of course, the chairman this year. We really appreciate them. Of course, all the boats from Grand Prix is the Miss Renee. It looks like.
Uh-oh.
As I stepped on the cord a little bit. Sorry about that.
Uh-oh. Those are new, you know.
Yeah, well, sue me.
Watch it over there. We just heard from our director, Nick Kish. Watch it over there.
Thank you, Nick. Appreciate it, buddy. Again, the Miss Renee coming back into the pits now, getting in front of the team, and then once they get that there, they'll be able to get the other Grand Prix out for Heat 2B.
Also, too, Jordan, for our fans along the shoreline, please go over this once again for those that might have brought their flying toy objects to the Madison Regatta. We need to keep them away from the water.
Absolutely. This is from Madison Regatta and H1 Unlimited for the safety of the drivers and their crews. And all the attendees of this event, please do not operate any drones over the water during the event this week, and H1 officials have to have their drone skies clear because that is how they make calls on the water. So do not, under any circumstances, put any drones over the Ohio River, and we need to make sure these stay clear because that is what H1 needs to be able to make calls. And then looking down the shoreline, stay out of the water, please. Stay out of the water. We need you to get out of the water. Boats cannot be out there if you are in the water, so stay out of the water, please.
Coming up next, River City Printing, Grand Prix Heat 2B. The Old Trapper Beef Jerky Super Shine is in the water. And the GP79, the Dam Family presents Bad Influence, Reliable Diamond Tool, is in the water. I see the GP33, Lupton Motorsports with Jack Lupton in the water. And yes, I see the 71, the Wild One, Miss Liberty in a can, is in the water. And they should have actually flip-flopped those heats. River City Printing should have been in 2A where their craft just won, and Liberty in a can should have sponsored 2B where that craft is about to set to go racing.
Absolutely. And, you know, Liberty in a can, I know they brought us a couple of Liberties in a can yesterday, Jeff, and I know, as we said, though, not sure if we could have handled that, Jeff.
Lord, no, not me.
I'm not even sure if I could have. And, I mean, no. I mean, that just would not have ended well for me had I had one of those. And, Jeff, we are inside 1 to the 5.
Boy, great job our officials with H1 Unlimited. They're giving the clock countdowns to our teams right there in the dock, and helps us out here with the public address system, and also, too, with the worldwide web viewers watching at H1 Unlimited via YouTube. And we're 5 minutes and 30 seconds until the start. This will be River City Printing Grand Prix Heat 2B at the 2024 Madison Regatta on this glorious day weather-wise in the Ohio River Valley. Jordan, I'll bring them down to the 5-minute period. 5:10 away for GP 2B. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. 5-minute period in session. River City Printing, GP2B, drivers. Crank them up. Jeff Bernard, the first boat away in the dominant orange checkered flag effect. The Dam Family, Bad Influence, Reliable Diamond Tool. Jack Lupton looking to get a light to the number 33 Lupton Motorsports. Jack leaving the dock. Kent Henderson looking to fire up the Wild One, Miss Liberty in a can. And Greg Hopp still holding at the dock in the Old Trapper Beef Jerky Super Shine. Greg does this. He doesn't go out right away at that 5-minute mark as they try to conserve on fuel and protect that 468 cubic inch engine. 4 minutes away, 4 minutes. Kent Henderson away from the dock out of Brockville, Ontario, Canada. And now Greg Hopp has been released by his crew at the Red Ball Recycling Pit Dock. The dominant yellow Old Trapper Beef Jerky Super Shine. So all 4 boats have left the dock up and running. River City Printing GP2B, we're 3:30 away.
3:30 away. All 4 boats now out on the Ohio River as Jeff Bernard crosses in the 79. The Dam family presents Bad Influence Reliable Diamond Tool. He was the winner earlier in Heat 1B. He's going to be on the outside in lane number 4. The boat going up the backstretch right now. Greg Hopp in the Old Trapper Beef Jerky, helped this week by Super Shine. He's going to be in lane number 1. Again, we saw a lot of speed in the time trials earlier. We know Jeff Bernard's got it, Jeff. He looked awfully impressive earlier today.
Once again, lanes are assigned, and any penalties inquired during the heat will be a 1-minute penalty on the lapse time. 2:45 away. Should I do it 4 times today at the start? Triple boogity?
I think you should.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And tomorrow for 3A and 3B, I think it'll be boogity times 3.
Boogity times 3.
And then for the Hoosier Nationals, it's definitely triple boogity.
Triple boogity for the Hoosier Nationals. We got to have it. 2:20 to go. 2:20 to go till the start of Grand Prix Heat 2B, presented by River City Printing. That Damn Bad Influence Reliable Diamond Tool crossing the start-finish line now, Jeff.
Now this is a big heat for Jeff Bernard. He is on the outside, but it appears right now racing luck is not with Jeff Bernard and we got a report that GP71 will be coming back in unaware of what that would be. So my strategy or thoughts went away. Now Bernard only has to get around 2 boats to his inside. So let's keep our eye on Kent Henderson. He is up in turn number 2 in the wild one, Miss Liberty in the can. And Jordan, it does appear he's pointing the nose of that boat back to the Red Ball Recycling Pit Dock. And it's a tough break for Kent and owner Huey Newport. We're down to 3, it appears, here in River City Printing GP2B.
Absolutely, and you hope you get that fixed. He had a DNF earlier today in Heat 1B, so you hope he gets that fixed. Right now we got Greg Hopp and Jeff Bernard going around. We are at 1:10, and then of course here comes Jack Lupton and Jack Lupton Motorsports across as well. Jeff, we are at 1 minute. 1 minute until the start of Heat 2B.
So an unfortunate did not start for Kent Henderson in the Miss Liberty in a can. So we're down to 3. Greg Hopp in 1, Jack Lupton in 2, Jeff Bernard in 3. Bernard needs a win to keep up in points with Brandon Kennedy.
Absolutely, and man, as dominant as Kennedy's been, Jeff Bernard looked awfully impressive earlier. Let's see what he can do. Again, he's got to get around 2 boats. He's got 2 boats on the inside. Right to the inside of Bernard is Jack Lupton. Then, of course, Greg Hopp inside on lane 1. We are at 25 seconds to go here. They're kind of slowly crawling into turn number 2. You're going to see it here real soon. Jeff Baylor, bring him to the start.
Thank you, Jordan Bear. We are now 15 seconds away. The noise will pick up. Hopp in 1, Jack Lupton in 2, Bernard in 3. River City Printing GP2B, we're 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, we're racing triple boogity, and I think Bernard is over here in River City Printing GP2B. We'll monitor the radios with H1 Unlimited. Did Bernard make a mistake at the start? We'll find out. Jack Lupton, your leader. In the 33, there's Bernard. Deck-to-deck dueling.
Jeff Bernard right there, but man, what a start by Lupton. And look at him pulling away. He's got about a rooster tail lead right now over Jack Lupton, but Bernard's right there. Legal start. The start is legal, so Bernard's going to be right there, but man, Jack Lupton brings him around.
Thank you, Jordan. Lupton with a beautiful start, but boy, Bernard had to be right at it when it struck 0, but Jack Lupton out of New Zealand clearly out in front now in the Lupton Motorsports. Jeff Bernard in 2nd. in that damn family, bad influence, reliable diamond tool. Greg Hopp in third in the Old Trapper beef jerky. Jack Lupton, the Kiwi. Show him the short way around here in River City Printing 2B.
He is, but don't you dare count out Jeff Bernard. You know he's going to be mashing the gas, but it's opened up to about a 2 rooster tail lead right now. Jack Lupton nailed that start, and he nailed that turn, and he is trying to pull away from Jeff Bernard as they come around to complete lap number 2.
Jack Lupton, a beautiful run here in River City Printing Grand Prix 2B. We're halfway through it, and he walks it side by side across the start-finish line buoy. Jeff Bernard, 2 down, 2 more to go in second. The Dam family presents Bad Influence, Reliable Diamond Tool. Greg Hopp completes his second lap in third. Old Trapper Beef Jerky.
Man, oh man, Jack Lupton, what a run here. Very, very impressive. He has opened up a huge lead now over Jeff Bernard in the 33 Jack Lupton Motorsports. What a huge point getter this would be for Lupton heading into tomorrow. They look around and they're going to be looking for the white flag, Jeff Ayler.
White flag is displayed. River City Printing Grand Prix Heat 2B. Jack Lupton accepts it in front. Now Jeff Bernard has went to Lupton's inside wake. Not certain about that move. You can get into some rough water there if Jack shuts the door, and there it is. Bernard's going to go through some rough soup. It gets a little soupy down there in that wake. So final time around for the top 2.
Absolutely, and man, oh man, what a race by Jack Lupton, and Bernard's trying, but Lupton has got some great speed. He's been having some great turns, and Bernard tried the inside, but Lupton completely shut him out. He's just got to bring it around. He does that, he'll do it, and he looks around for turn 2. Jeff looking for the checkered flag.
Final turn, final lap, River City Printing Grand Prix 2B. Checkered flag waves, and it goes to Jack Lupton out of New Zealand, wins it in Lupton Motorsports.
Second place, Jeff Bernard in the Dam family presents the Bad Influence Reliable Diamond Tool. Then at third place, assuming he can get it across here, will be the 15 Old Trapper Beef Jerky, helped out this week by Super Shine Auto Detailing and Window Tinting, Greg Hopp. So a nice job there as Hopp will bring it across the start-finish line to complete Heat 2B.
Boy, beautiful run by Jack Lupton. That 33 woke up here in 2B. I knew he had a pretty good motor. They've had trouble with this boat in the corners, but maybe that problem has been solved.
Maybe they had, because I expected Jeff Bernard especially to come around the outside, but Lupton completely shut him out. What a run by Jack Lupton. Suddenly now the rest of the field's going to be looking at him saying, hold on, what's this guy capable of here? So Jack Lupton, a really, really impressive performance there by Jack Lupton in Jack Lupton Motorsports. And again, they're going to be coming in here, and it looks like up next we may have H1 Unlimited, because I see the U9 Beacon Plumbing being lowered into the Ohio River as we speak. So looks like we might be having the Pro Light final after, but the Beacon Plumbing being lowered into the Ohio River as we speak, and it is now in the Ohio River as we see the 3 Grand Prix boats, including, again, our winner, Jack Lupton in the 33 Jack Lupton Motorsports. What a run for that young man out of New Zealand. His brother Ken unfortunately had to withdraw because of sponsored damage in the Lucas Oil, but Jack Lupton showing what he is capable of as he is victorious here in Heat 2B. And then, of course, Jeff Bernard will head down to the far end of the docks, and then, of course, Hopp Racing. You see it right there. His dock right there at the edge of the docks here as the U40 gets ready to be lowered in as well. But what a run by Jack Lupton. And that officially, Jeff, as far as Grand Prix racing goes, wraps it up today.
I think write it down in ink. Jack Lupton in first, Jeff Bernard in second, Greg Hopp in third. Kent Henderson did not start. We're kind of celebrating the Paris, France Summer Olympics here at the Madison Regatta. Our award ceremony, the medals, Jack Lupton with the gold, Jeff Bernard with the silver, Greg Hopp with the bronze here in River City Printing 2B.
The Olympics will be starting soon enough. Of course, a lot of great Olympic events. We were watching some of the track and field events. Of course, they had the U.S. qualifiers coming up recently. Of course, a lot of people watch the soccer teams that are going to be there. Of course, the first major tournament for the new U.S. women's soccer coach. You'll have the basketball teams there as well. Excited to watch that. And then, of course, excited to watch more Unlimited Hydroplane Racing. Jeff, it looks like we're going to Unlimiteds now.
Well, I forgot to mention gold medal New Zealand, silver and bronze United States.
There you go. He'll take the gold. He'll take the gold.
Yeah, we got unlimited hydroplanes being lowered into the water. Matter of fact, the U9 Beacon Plumbing is already in the water with Corey Peabody. I do see a Pro Light boat going back into the drink, so we'll kind of get with our officials here. We had the Pro Light final coming up next, followed by Unlimited Heat 2, brought to you by Rivertown Bar and Grill. The bucket list racing is on the slings, just hovering over the Ohio River, and now about to be actually lowered into the water here in Madison. Jordan, I think we've seen some good GP activity, a few blemishes, some unfortunate attrition, especially to Ken Lupton with that sponson damage in the Lucas Oil. Let's hope Kent Henderson's problem was not major. And also, too, like to see Tyler Eccles get things banded together so we can get the Miss Renee out there and at least get a heat finish here this weekend in Madison.
Okay, we just got word from our officials. They are going to do the Pro Light Saturday final next, and then the H1 Unlimiteds will have their final race after that. We just received word from the H1 officials.
Thank you, Brad. Yeah, we got that from Nick. We're going to go Pro Light and then H1.
Yes, sir.
So we'll have a 5-boat Pro Light final heat coming up, presented by Cruisin' Auto. Carl Adams, E323 Maximum Racing, is an unfortunate scratch here in the final. So, Jordan, great work by those 350 teams. They put them back on the trailer and they've refueled, and they'll get right back out here for their final heat here at day number 2 of 3 of the Madison Regatta. But after that, our last race of the day will be Rivertown Bar and Grill, H1 Unlimited Heat number 2. And speaking of that, the Beacon Electric is on the slings going to the Ohio River. And our last boat on the slings that will go to the drink in H1 Unlimited Heat number 2 will be U11 Miss Mercury's Coffee.
So we got 4 H1 Unlimiteds coming up after that. But again, the Saturday final of the Pro Lights coming up here momentarily. Should be some great racing. We'll have 5 boats here in the final. And, of course, we'll have Jeff go over that before we start the race here momentarily. We've seen some great racing in the Pro Lights so far. Expecting to see another good one here. We'll see if we saw Dylan Goodell have a really, really good run his last time around. We saw Joe Les win earlier today. See who can bring home this Saturday final coming up here momentarily.
As Jordan just mentioned, up next, Cruisin' Auto Pro Light Saturday final here at the Madison Regatta. The wild one, Miss Liberty in the can, the GP71, is on the slings. Obviously, Kent might have had a motor problem, hopefully not a vibration, but Kent, experienced driver, out Brockville, Ontario, Canada, and done the right thing to bring the 71 back in. If he felt that problem, no need to hurt it in the race.
Oh, no.
Fix it through the night and get ready for the 3rd section come tomorrow here at the Madison Regatta. Beautiful shot of the Beacon Electric from our drone team with H1 Unlimited via YouTube. Boy, they're getting some dynamite shots, Jordan, here this weekend at the 74th Madison Regatta.
We've seen the drones here over the past couple of years, but I'd say just as far as work goes, some of the best we've seen, at least in my time seeing them here, because with the way they are able to go up and down the shorelines here, they're right over the boats. Again, you almost really can't even tell they're there. You can kind of look close enough, because I keep thinking maybe there's something in the water, but no, it's just that drone that is hovering over everything. And what a great job by the drone team here for H1 Unlimited. As again, they are hovering over the H1 Unlimiteds right now. Again, we'll see them momentarily after this next heat for the Pro Lights. We have 5 boats that are competing for this final heat on Saturday.
And Jordan, while we have some time, I hope this gentleman is here. I understand he was supposed to be here today, but tomorrow afternoon, the big trophy is the Indiana Governor's Cup. It's the Morgan Foods Indiana Governor's Cup, and Madison Regatta is so thankful for the support by John Morgan with Morgan Foods out of Austin, Indiana. John, if you're with us here along the shoreline as a fan of this sport, and your support of Madison Regatta has been so tremendous, I think they're working on you for the 75th Madison Regatta. We'd love Morgan Foods on board that trophy.
Absolutely, and man, we appreciate them and everything that they do every single year. They make this possible. One of the great many sponsors that we have here for the Madison Regatta. And, of course, we look forward to having them and so many other dignitaries here tomorrow afternoon to help out with trophy presentation and to watch the final heat. We know Governor Holcomb's going to be here tomorrow as well, so we appreciate seeing him. We know Mayor Courtney's going to be here tomorrow helping out also. Maybe some other surprises that we don't even know about. That's the cool thing about the Madison Regatta. You just never know.
You just never know, as we see a beautiful shot of the Miss Mercury's coffee being lowered into the water. Are you ready with that cell phone? Because you know where I'm going next. We're about to wrap up racing here, day number 2 of 3 at the Madison Regatta. Pro Light, then H1 Unlimited, but there's plenty of activity still at Madison here this evening, late evening into the early morning hours with the Rooster Tail Music Festival.
Absolutely, the Rooster Tail Music Festival going on right now is Taylor Honeycutt coming up at 4:40 p.m. We'll have Rich Henderson at 5:50 p.m. It'll be Stephen Wilson Jr. At 7:10, it'll be Silverado. At 8:45, Wyatt Flores will take the stage. We'll have a little bit of break for the fireworks. Then at 10:30, 49 Winchester, a popular favorite here in Madison. And then to wrap up the night at 12 o'clock midnight, it'll be the Hot Brown Smackdown late night set. Again, that is all at the Rooster Tail Music Festival down at Bicentennial Park. So we are still waiting again for the start of Pro Light Final, the Saturday final here. Again, we have been told, looks like the 500 making its way. That is Senseless 14 being taken to the water as well. Looking over to my left here, trying to see how many Grand Prix we have in the water as we speak.
Pro Light.
Pro Light, sorry. Sorry, fans.
You're fine.
They all kind of run together at some point.
Trying to get a special guest over here to interview. He's a little reluctant sometimes at that, so.
Yeah, he is, but he's all right, though.
We'll see what he says. I got a pretty good barter over there, so. Old Trapper beef jerky being picked up out of the water. Thanks once again to our crane operators at the Madison Regatta, Loon and Oak. They are based out of Carrollton, Kentucky. 12 miles east of Madison. Carrollton nestled right on the Ohio River on the Kentucky side of the river, just like Madison is here on the Indiana shoreline. I'd like to thank our sound provider once again, the Public Address System, Louisville Sound Company. Sean and Casey have been with us this weekend here next to Jordan and I. Tommy is the nuts and bolts of the group, and we'd also like to thank Elliot as well with his work with Louisville Sound Company. Guys, thank you very much. And Jordan, they are fun to work with and doing a good job, and we appreciate joining the broadcast too with H1 Unlimited via YouTube here on the live stream.
Absolutely. Want to know a guy I miss racing? This guy right here, Jean Theoret. I miss him racing on the water out there. Jean Theoret was a whale of driver, the 2006 Gold Cup champion. Let me tell you what, this guy was fun to watch.
Give your headset to that French Canadian. I'll jaw with him for a bit. He's always in for a good chat.
Is that Mr. Ayler?
Thank you, Jean. Good afternoon. Great seeing you. You look great.
Well, I feel pretty good, and it's good to be here.
Good.
Yeah.
How's Mr. Luce treating you on the H1 straight?
Well, he's pretty tough on me, you know. I'm a rookie, so I'll get through it.
I think it's wonderful. Glad you're joining Brad as the color commentator with the Unlimited Heats. And we just saw 2 GP heats, and I know that class is near and dear to your heart. You were the Grand Prix master, especially in that Casino de Montreal.
Yeah,
those Grand Prix boats are fun to drive.
Those were the good years, a long time ago, though. Yeah, we won 4
with Grand Prix. I think it's growing.
Well, I hope you know this what I call this union of HRL and GPA will form, you know, a better association and get more boats to each event, and because we need more boats, you know. So and then we have to, you know, race in Canada and racing in the United States and make it, you know, a nationwide event. So I think it's good for the future.
And next weekend, I tab at the Super Bowl of inboard hydroplane racing. Emily Dayu, the head of HRL, the Valley Field Regatta.
Yeah.
You will be there. That is a very, very special event.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a hometown race, and I've had the blessing of winning the Grand Prix 5 times there. So it's like running Indianapolis or Monaco or the Super Bowl. So it's if you want to win a race, an inboard race somewhere, it's Valley Field.
And H1 Unlimited, we have 5 boats here this weekend. Of course, you drove the Unlimited Hydroplanes, the 2006 Gold Cup champion, and it's still special to get behind one of those big ones at 28 foot long.
Yeah, it's different. It's like Formula One. It's the fastest boats out there. It's big. It's fast. It's amazing. It's exciting to race unlimited hydroplanes, and I've had the blessing as a Canadian to run one of those things. Very few Canadians have raced unlimited hydroplanes, and to have won the Gold Cup also is a great blessing.
And this race course here, Jean, it's the traditional 2 1/2 mile track, and the water right now in July is absolutely fabulous, but that turn number 1 down there, that's always been a big factor to win or lose in Madison.
Yeah, turn 1 can bite you. So, but the last 2 years, I was here last year also, and the water was great. You always have problems with logs here and everything like that with the rain coming in a couple of weeks before. But the water conditions are really good. It's a bit windy right now, but, it's all handleable.
And up the back straightaway, about halfway through, I understand over the years just talking to drivers, just a little bit of tricky areas there as well. Is it the current or is there a little bit of wind right there?
I think it's wind, and maybe the wind coming underneath the bridge and so forth. It's like there's some spots where the water stops moving, and it's kind of weird. It's got a weird feeling. And they're so long, that it's different from most of the race courses.
Now, generally up in turn 2, the bridge turn, it's usually pretty nice.
Yes, it is nice usually, but depends which way the wind comes in.
Okay.
If the wind comes in the opposite of the current, then it upsets that corner too.
And down this front straightaway, you see the smokestacks from the IKE power plant. I'm sure they're not in your eyeballs when you're traveling 190 miles per hour.
No, definitely not. That big yellow buoy is in your eyeballs there. And, of course, you have to watch that corner because there's always rollers there.
Jean, we talked to drivers and a lot of fans, especially on the shoreline and watching online at H1 Unlimited via YouTube. There's obvious two-way communication with your spotter in the corral, but your sense of direction, it doesn't matter what class of hydroplane you're in. The driver has to have a wonderful sense of direction, but that spotter is critical.
Absolutely. He tells you where the other guys are on the course, and sometimes it gets you out of trouble, And if someone stops during a race, well, he spots you and tells you someone stopped in this corner, and he can tell you if the wind picks up, if he can tell you if the water conditions change. So the spotter is very important.
And as a driver with your radio person, did you like short and sweet messages, or did you like a little bit more elongated information from the spotter?
To me, I just want concise information and very short, because sometimes it can be distractful also. Mm-hmm. So I just pertinent information and very short.
How do you like the new start procedure this year with H1? I think it's on the right track.
Well, I love it. When I got into unlimited racing, that's the way it was. Yeah. In 2005. So the only difference is in 2005 you had to be on plane.
Yeah.
So now these boats can get off plane. So I think the starting procedure is fine. I love the 80-mile-an-hour rule being kicked out.
Yes.
Because I don't like racers being disqualified even before the start of the race.
Yes.
I think it's hurtful for the sport. It's hurtful for the fans. And it doesn't do any good.
I think my biggest factor with it, you took the words right out of my mouth, it's that paying customer along the shoreline. Yeah. We want boats to come to the green flag and not be eliminated prior to the green flag. It's confusing and sometimes can give a little bit of a different view of what you're trying to accomplish.
Absolutely. And, there's a race before the race,
Yes.
And that's what makes it even more exciting, And if you can explain it a bit more to the fans, well, they can understand a bit more of it, get involved, and get information on it.
And this course here, lane 1 and unlimited is not necessarily the lane you want.
Not really. We saw Corey Peabody in the first heat there with lane 2, and I think that's why he got the win.
I think he did. But J. Michael Kelly, he just has such a knack at getting lane 1, and that takes a lot of skill and talent.
Yes, it does. It does. But in most race courses, lane 1 is the preferred lane. Mm-hmm. But I strongly believe here in Madison that the best lane is probably lane 2.
Now, when the viewers watch next weekend on the live stream provided by the Hydroplane Racing League up at Valley Field, what a tremendous venue. The crowd is on top of everybody. But in Grand Prix, Boy, lane one there is tough. Man, that is tough maneuvering. I think you would love to be in two, but boy, what a sight for hydroplane racing at Valleyfield.
Yeah, the thing that's so nice in Valleyfield is the fans are really close to the race site, to the race course itself. So when you line up like 6 Grand Prix boats there, the earth is shaking. Yeah. So it just gets you so exciting, and the first corner is awesome. And I always loved lane one in the Valleyfield, I was very successful in Valleyfield because I often got lane one.
And the fan base in Valleyfield are so knowledgeable.
Absolutely. They've been racing like 85 years, I think, in Valleyfield. Yeah. And the HRL has a gift of explaining to the fans the way the races are going on and educating the fans, and they're interested in getting the knowledge, and the fans really love it.
Jean Theoret, our 2006 APBA Gold Cup winner. He's with Brad Luce on the stream with H1 Unlimited. Always great seeing you. As always, you're welcome to Madison, Indiana, anytime you want. And if you ever want to tour Rikers Ridge, look me up.
Well, I feel really appreciated here in Madison. It's always good to be here. I'm always welcomed, and I really thank everybody here in Madison.
Thank you, John. Great seeing you. Looks great. John Theoret.
Let me tell you what, as likable a guy as you'll find, Jeff Ayler.
They don't come no better.
Absolutely.
Oh, just a wonderful man, and this sport's been a big part of his life, and of course a Gold Cup champion. You heard him say won 43 Grand Prix races in his day, and he was the Grand Master of Grand Prix hydroplane racing, Jean Theoret.
And let me tell you what, that guy, I still bet if he strapped into a boat, I still bet he'd put it toward the front of the pack, knowing him. Jeff, I look on our screen here. We are inside 1 to the 5, inside 1 to the 5 for our Pro Light final for Saturday. Again, inside 1 to the 5. We got 5 boats out there that are going to be competing today. And now we're getting closer, 5 minutes, 15 seconds. I'll let you know when we get to the 5-minute mark here. Again, the boats are there, drivers strapped in, and we are at 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, 5-minute gun here for Grand Prix, for Pro Light, final heat Saturday.
You're fine, my friend. 4:50 until the start. The Pro Light boats leave the dock. This is their final heat. Sponsored by Cruisin' Auto here at the 2024 Madison Regatta. First boat out was Joe Less, followed by Dylan Goodell, Alex Magna, Jeff Sancure, and Rob Betke. Jordan, I'll take them up the back chute, ID the boats for our fans here along the shoreline, and our viewers watching worldwide at H1 Unlimited via YouTube. First boat off turn number 1, that is the 500 Senseless 14, owned by Don Less out of Grand Island, New York. Joe Less in the cockpit. Less was your Heat 1 winner, finished 4th in the second heat. Behind him, Dylan Goodell out of Allen Park, Michigan, in craft number 40. All Point Construction. Dylan Goodell has been racy here today. Can he do it in the final?
Absolutely. The first race he looked really, really good, and he cuts the course actually right there. Not something you see a lot of in Pro Light. He is trying to get that inside lane, is Dylan Goodell. Rob Betke typically is pretty good at getting that. He comes up the backstretch right now. He's looking to try to stay on that inside lane too. He's had some great racing as well.
And the first dark-colored craft exiting turn number 1, black and red boat out of Marine City, Michigan, owner-driver Jeff Sancure. Jeff's had a solid day with a second and a third. Dominant red boat by the start-finish line buoy. That is the Hold On Loosely, the E55, driven by Rob Betke out of Ortonville, Michigan. His parents, Monica and Mike Betke, are the owners out of Oxford, Michigan. And Jordan, today is Rob Betke's 29th birthday.
He would love to cap it off by winning this final heat. Betke, now you look, he had to move to the outside because there is, up there, you have more and more boats. Of course, Dylan Goodell getting ready to come down. He cut the race course there. Looks like Joe Less is now on the inside of Rob Betke as we speak, going down the backstretch. But here comes Goodell in All Point Construction. Goodell was the winner of Pro Light Heat 2. He was a gun jumper in Heat 1. Joe Less took home the victory in Heat 1 earlier today. We'll see who can bring home this Saturday final heat. Jeff, we're at 2 minutes, 25 seconds.
And our final boat to ID is on the outside of the pack entering turn number 2. Nick Kish, Pinckney, Michigan. That is Alex Magna in the blue and white, the Wolverine. 2 minutes, 10 seconds until the start.
Two minutes to go. 2 minutes until the start of the final heat here on this Saturday Pro Light, presented by Cruisin' Auto. Boat slowly coming across there on the inside. That is Joe Less in Senseless 14. Again, he was victorious in Pro Light Heat 1. Right on to his right, that is Rob Betke. And then, of course, coming up in lane 2, it looks like that will be Dylan Goodell. So Dylan Goodell right now sitting in lane 2. He had tried to get lane number 1, but Dylan Goodell now looks like he's going to be sitting in lane 2. Betke in 3, Sancure in 4th, Magna in 5, Jeff. Unless something changes, it appears this will be where their lanes are, as we are now a minute 15 until the start of the Pro Light Final.
4-lap heat on the approximate 1 1/4 mile First Financial Bank Wild Bill Cantrell Memorial Racecourse. 5 set to go in Cruisin' Auto Pro Light Saturday Final here at the Madison Regatta. Right now it looks like Joe Less will get the 1 lane. Dylan Goodell in 2. Let's put Rob Betke in 3. Jeff Sancure in 4. Alex Magna to the outside. 45 seconds away. Jordan Bear from WORX. Bring him to the green flag.
Absolutely, Jeff Ayler. Under 40 seconds. Boat starting to slow down a little bit. You do not want to jump the gun. It's a 1-minute penalty if you do. We had that in Heat 1. We want to try to avoid that here. We're under 30 seconds to go as they get ready to hit turn number 2. Seeing some more speed there from Sancure on the outside in lane number 3. He's going to try to maybe hit it right on the button. Can he do it? We are at 15 seconds till the start of the race. Again, Less in lane 1, Goodell lane 2, Betke lane 3, Sancure lane 4, Magna lane 5. What are we going to do? We are at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Mark, we're racing. We'll call it physically clean at the start. We'll let you know if there's anything. It's Rob Betke that leads him across. Right next to him, though, is Dylan Goodell in lane 2. It is a legal start. Legal start, so everyone's good. But coming out of turn 1, it is going to be Dylan Goodell. He passes Betke, and he takes the lead, Jeff, on the backstretch, but he gets a little light off of turn 1.
Boy, Dylan Goodell, I mentioned the warm-up period, has been racing. He is looking super sharp here in the Cruisin' Auto Pro Light Final. Dylan Goodell in front, Rob Betke in second, and Joe Less was tucked back at the start, and now he's laboring in the 3rd spot.
And right there as Goodell tries to hold it, he's got the shorter track around, but Betke's not far behind. Betke about a rooster tail behind. Goodell's going to try to have a nice turn here. He gets it as he looks up. He's going to look and try to complete lap number 1. He's now extended it to about a 2 rooster tail lead as Goodell comes across at 1st place. It will be Rob Betke in 2nd. It looks like Sancure has passed Joe Less there. Joe Less wavering back in 5th, Jeff, as they look for another turn.
Joe Less back to 5th. We'll see if he points that Senseless 14 back to the pit dock. But the story of the Cruisin' Auto Pro Light Saturday Final is Dylan Goodell out of Allen Park, Michigan, with their local sponsor from Michigan, All Point Construction, extending the lead over Rob Betke in the hold on loosely. Jeff Sancure in 3rd. Alex Magna in 4th, and Joe Less is returning to the Red Ball Recycling pit dock.
So Joe Less returning. He will have a DNF for this race, but right now the story is Dylan Goodell. What a start he had. He had to hold off Betke in that first turn. That first turn is very, very dicey. You saw him get a little light. You saw the sponson's turn as he comes around to complete lap number 2. Dylan Goodell looking for his 2nd win of the day here on this Saturday Pro Light Final. A nice run as well for Rob Betke. We said we thought he could be a podium finisher this week as Betke comes down to complete lap number 2. He's in 2nd place. Sancure behind him. Can Magna catch him? We'll have to wait and see, Jeff Ayler, as they go out in the backstretch.
Boy, Dylan Goodell keeping the chili to it. Got the hammer down off turn number 1 up the back straightaway. 2.5 in, a lap and a half to go in the Cruisin' Auto Pro Light Final. Had to get that putting the chili to it for Cal Phipps, listening on the worldwide broadcast.
Oh, Cal Phipps, oh, how we miss seeing him around. And Dylan Goodell's going to be looking around as he comes around turn number 2, and he gets light again, man. He has had a couple hops there out on the race course, but he's able to keep it down. He doesn't really have to push. He's got a solid lead over Betke. He looks up, and it looks like it is the white flag displayed. 1 lap to go. Goodell 1 lap away from bringing home the victory here in the Saturday Pro Light Final. Betke there, and don't look now, but Sancure has made up some ground. There is a chance Sancure could try to catch him here for that second place, but right now it's still Rob Betke in second.
All Dylan Goodell in turn number 1, his final time around the 1 1/4 mile First Financial Bank race course here on the Ohio River. Betke 3 down, 1 to go in second. And Jordan, you're right, Sancure seems to have more momentum at the start-finish line buoy than Betke. Half a lap to go for Dylan Goodell, your leader.
Dylan Goodell, your leader. Again, half a lap to go. He is cruising right now. He's just got to get to the finish line. Doesn't have to push it. You could clearly see not putting it all. I'm looking over to see if Sancure could try to catch Rob Betke. I'm not sure if he can, but if he does, it's going to be right here. Some whopping there on the sponson. Goodell's coming around and looking for the home stretch. As he's going to be looking, checkered flag is out and displayed. Here is your winner of the Saturday Pro Light Final. It is the E40 All-Point Construction, Dylan Goodell, first place.
And trust me, they will be very happy. This boat blew over in San Diego in 2022. It's been a thrash, it's been a struggle, but it's come to life at the Madison Regatta.
And there you have it right now, and it looks like it is going to be Rob Betke able to hold off Sancure. Rob Betke going to come down and get a second place finish. So Betke comes across for a second place finish. Jeff Sancure third in the Modern Drummer. And not far behind him, Alex Magna in the Wolverine comes down for a fourth place finish, officially bringing a close. Again, the 500, that is Joe Less in the Senseless 14. He's already about loaded back onto his trailer. But again, what a run by Dylan Goodell. The second straight race, he jumped out in front and never looked back. His boat looks awfully impressive.
Well, Scott Davidson, again, no need for pencil. Put him in ink. I'm not certain if Scott even owns an ink pen, but Dylan Goodell wins it, followed by Rob Betke, Jeff Sancure in third, Alex Magna fourth, and Joe Les got the unfortunate, did not finish. Just having fun with you, old buddy.
Absolutely, absolutely. So they're coming in. Glad to see all the boats coming back into the docks here. So, man, what a day of racing we have seen. We still got one race to go. Obviously, Brad Luce and Jean Thierret will take care of that here on the live stream. Jeff and I will be here over the public address system for the Unlimited Heat 2. But what a run by Dylan Goodell, as he is going to be greeted by a very, very happy crew out there on the Red Ball Recycling docks. Thank you, young lady. So a great job there by Goodell. Again, he brings home a first place finish. Rob Betke in the hold on loosely, he finishes second. Third place goes to Modern Drummer Jeff Sancure, and then Alex Magna in the Wolverine. That is a fourth place finish. Again, a DNF, unfortunately, for Joe Less in the Senseless 14. Obviously, we hope that and the 323 get their issues fixed for tomorrow. 323 elected not to go out for this final heat. Obviously, they're going to be working on some stuff as they get ready for tomorrow. But again, a nice race there by Dylan Goodell. And Jeff, the Unlimiteds are already in the water. They're going to be heading out for Unlimited Heat 2. So is it about time to hand my headset away to Brad Luce? Except Brad Luce is nowhere to be found, so I'll just stay here.
We'll just keep it here for a moment. Brad is making his way up the steps. He went down to the pit area, and he'll be here with us momentarily. As Jordan said, we'll hand it back off to Brad Luce and John Thierret with the worldwide coverage at H1 Unlimited via YouTube. And wanted to thank Brad and H1 Unlimited giving us an opportunity to call the Grand Prix heats and the Pro Light for our listeners around the world and viewers. And we'll do the same thing tomorrow as well.
Absolutely. So kudos to H1 for making this possible. And now I'm going to hand my headset over to the man, the myth, the legend, the young Brad Luce, the voice of H1 Unlimited. Brad Luce.
I do have a trivia question for Brad, though, and you had a birthday recently, and I'm not saying the number. I don't think there was ever an unlimited hydroplane with your current number.
A U40, Miss Bardall. Well, we got a U40 right here.
Well, that's wrong.
That's not it.
It is. I don't.
Jean, you're laughing. You're not buying this. You're not buying this at all.
I don't think there ever was one. Now, last year there was.
Well, there was a 70 and oops, wait a minute. There was an Atlas Van Lines and an Atlas Van Lines 2. How about we wait, we have an answer? Here, we have an answer.
Atlas have a 71 and 72.
But weren't
No,
that
U70
that
and
was
U71.
70 and 71. That's where I thought, no, wait. We have one problem. The stat man is listening. And he just said, I'm on it.
I just think he took a whole bottle of Excedrin. He's having a hard time figuring this one out.
Well, Sharky's down there with his book, too, so the entire place is going to know how old I am in about 5 minutes. So, Jean, we need to start talking about this heat in a hurry here, dude. I'm about to be in.
Hey, but you got a wonderful birthday gift this year.
I did. That Hinkle's hamburger hat is something everybody can be proud of here in town. I made the Facebook page, the whole thing. I tell you what, this happens every once in a while that my wife and I, with back-to-back birthdays, we end up with birthdays here in Madison. This is a great place to have your birthday. Everybody is so friendly, and they find out it's your birthday, and God, I didn't buy lunch. I don't have to buy coffee in the morning. It's great.
Well, real quick, back to business before I hand the headset off to Jean Theoret. Everyone cleared tech and H1 Unlimited Heat 1, and
that's correct.
It was 9, 1, 91, and 40 in that order. Jean, people are tired of hearing me on the World Wide Web. They want to hear an expert.
Thank you very much, Jeff Ayler.
Thank you, Jeff.
Oh, here we go. I think we have an answer. Do we have an answer? Oh, brother. Say that again.
Let's face it. 72.
In 1956, Jeff Ayler, 1956, let's face it. I'll let you go figure out the number. John Bridge and Ron Weber were the drivers. The boat was U72. Okay, that cat's out of the bag. I don't know if I should thank you or slap you, stat man. Well, John, so much for that secret.
Exactly.
Oh, gosh. So, yeah, we're inside 5 to the 5 here. I just saw somebody's thumb go up in front of our live stream there. Can we throw it down to Erica? Let's do it. Erica, I understand you have some insight on the U9, the Beacon Plumbing.
Yes, thanks so much, Brad. We haven't necessarily seen the Corey Peabody we expected this season thus far until he won here in Madison, where he and the U9 came alive. It's no secret it's been a struggle for him until that point, as things haven't gone in his favor. And I asked him how he mentally resets after drives that don't meet his expectations, and he said simply, you have to have short-term memory. Forget, move on, what's done is done, and focus on things in your control as a driver. And he did just that, and Heat 1. He said he and the team have been grinding, and it feels so good to get the U9 back to the front where so many of us expected him given such dominance last season. Can he repeat that effort here in Heat 2, guys?
Thank you, Erica, very, very much. Jean, I don't know how much of that you picked up, but Erica was down there talking with the team and with Corey and just discussing what happens on a race course, whether it's good or bad. You got to forget about it because you've got another heat to run.
Yeah, I heard short-term memory. Well, that's all I heard.
I mean, is that something we suffer from, or was that
maybe it's the drivers? I don't know.
It's the driver. We're having some fun here, obviously, but it's going to get real serious here in 7 minutes and 12 seconds because that's the time on the clock for our H1 Unlimited Heat 2 here at the Madison Regatta. Unlimited Heat 2 is sponsored by the Rivertown Bar and Grill. Jean Theoret and I are going to do our best to bring all the action to you in this one. It's a 4-boat heat. John, we got the 1, the Beacon Electric with J. Michael Kelly, the 40, Bucket List Racing and Dustin Eccles. Corey Peabody's going to handle the U9, Beacon Beacon Plumbing that you're looking at on the screen. And then the U11, the Miss Mercury's Coffee and Jamie Nielsen. No Andrew Tate in this one, so this is his turn to sit one out. There's the Mercury's Coffee. What do you think about that lineup?
Well, it'll be interesting to see what Jamie's going to do. Is he going to go for that lane 1 or not? I know he's very good at it, so. But like we said before, is lane 1 the good one?
That's right. I was just going to come back to you on that because we saw Corey be able to successfully drive around his teammate there, J. Michael Kelly, who dove into the inside lane in our first heat. We'll see how it plays out here. Our starting procedure worked very well last time out. And J. Michael Kelly was the one who was able to win that. If that's indeed what he wanted, was that inside lane. He got it. But he could not hold off his teammate Corey Peabody. Corey would like nothing better than to head into Saturday night with 800 points
with 2 wins,
and a couple of wins under his belt.
But I'm sure JMK is going to play to try and ruin that game also.
Yep. And Bucket List Racing, Dustin Eccles, they had the 4th place finish there in the first heat. I'm sure they'd like to score a few more points.
Yeah.
Maybe get a 2nd or a 3rd at least. But we know the boat's quick. If he gets a jump on you, you can have your hands full driving around that bright orange hydroplane, too.
If you get lane 2 and get a good start there, that could be interesting.
Yep. So looking at the clock, 5 minutes and 25 seconds now. So we'll have boats on the water here very quickly. And again, as we talk, John, you look at the boats on the dock, you see a crew member with their hands on each one.
Absolutely.
Each boat has a crew member with their hand on the fairing. That is a rule. They have to stay there for another 10 seconds. The noses of our H1 Unlimited hydroplanes are pointed out toward the center of the Ohio River. Mark, 5 minutes. Turn them loose, and here they come. And there you go. Scott and Shannon Rainey's U11 Mercury's Coffee. Looks like he's the first away from the dock, and we'll head down to the bottom end of the race course. Always a great sight here in Madison, Indiana. Look at that. Beautiful shot there. 1, 2, 3, 4 really nice. Boats all come out.
Look at the bucket list.
Yes.
Look at him go. I think, oh, gee.
Whoa.
Wow. Whoa, JMK swallowed some water there.
He certainly did, and so did Corey.
Yeah.
Holy cow, he came out with a vengeance.
Yes.
He did not want to trail everybody down to that lower corner, and he sent a message, I'm here to race in this one.
I think he wants lane 1.
There was a clue. Wow. So, coming up on 4 minutes, and after that maneuver coming away from the dock, it is Dustin Eccles first up the backstretch, got Jamie Nielsen right behind him in that right side rear view mirror. Then the 2 strong boats. Corey's next, the white one, the red one, JMK. 1, 2, 3, 4 up the backstretch, just inside 4 minutes, y'all. Up underneath the Milton Madison Bridge. The boats will go all the way around the race course, and then we'll see if we see somebody cut. We saw JMK come down the front straightaway after 1 lap in that first heat, and he cut right here in front of us and was able to snare lane 1 with that maneuver. As we've talked, everybody's trying to figure out this new start procedure.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see what Dustin's going to do.
Yeah, we'll see what Dustin has up his sleeve. Will he cut when he comes down here? Jamie's going to pull up alongside of him here at the 3:15 mark.
Corey's inside on that lane back.
These guys looks like they're going to go all the way down.
Yep.
And they are. How about Corey? How about Mike?
Yep. Corey.
There goes
Corey's
Mike. Mike's going to go, and Mike's going to go inside him. How about that?
Yeah.
There we go. So just like that, Corey went from being on the inside of Mike to being just outside of him.
Yep.
This was the same maneuver Mike did in the first heat, and he got lane 1 with it. Yep. And Corey sat in 2. Right now, that's where they are. Now it's Dustin in 3 coming up the backstretch, but we have not scored up yet. The boats will have to be behind the start-finish line at 1:30.
We
still a lot can happen.
Yeah, over a minute to burn.
Yep. Yeah. So you got a couple of boats way up front. You got a couple of boats following them. A lot still to decide here in the race before the race. It is H1 Unlimited Heat 2. It is sponsored by Rivertown Bar and Grill. And everybody is standing and watching for this one. It is our second H1 Unlimited Heat at the 2024 Madison Regatta and the Indiana Governors Cup. Now our boats, John, are starting to bunch up there a little bit.
Yeah.
And now if J. Michael Kelly wants lane 1, he's going to have to defend it here a little bit.
Yeah.
Looking at the clock, we're inside 2 minutes. We're at 1:54. Cannot cross start finish until 1:30.
They're all together.
Boy, they are indeed all together. Great shot there. All 4 boats are very, very close. Look at Jamie's on the outside. He's got, boy, it's getting tight in there, too. There's not a lot of space between them. We are 35 seconds.
Jamie's going.
Yep, here comes Jamie. Boy, it looked legal to me. We will get it officially here, but that's about as close as we've been on a score-up buoy so far this year. Everybody going down to the lower end, still carrying a lot of speed. Mike still on that inside lane. Dustin holding back a bit in lane 3. Nothing's changed so far, just waiting to see if everybody's legal.
I think it's all going to be the same. JMK lane 1, Peabody lane 2.
Here comes Dustin, but I don't think he's going to be able to scoot up there far enough. He'd have to have 5 boat lengths to move over on anybody. Still waiting to hear anything from the officials or officially. Haven't got it yet. Up underneath the Milton Madison Bridge. Inside 50 seconds. Inside 50 seconds. Kelly is in 1. Corey Peabody is in 2. It's Dustin Eccles in 3. We talked about Jamie maybe getting on an inside lane. He's going to be on the far outside, John. 30 seconds. Top end of the race course. They are early up at the top end, but they can scruff off some speed there. The lanes they are in now are the ones they're going to have to race in.
Jamie's laying back a bit.
Jamie is going to be back a little bit. The others are slow. See if maybe Jamie Nielsen doesn't bring a little bit more boat speed to the line. They approach the bridge, and we think that's about 12 seconds, and we think that's pretty good. And they've all lit it up. Yep. This is what we wanted to see, was 4 boats side by side by side.
Look at JMK.
We are 2, 1. Mark, I think we're legal on that, but we'll let the officials call it. It was a beauty. JMK was right on the line and got the jump at the field on the inside lane. Now down to the bottom end of the race course, turn 1. It is J. Michael Kelly coming out about 2 or 3 boat lengths on the lead. Dustin Eccles is in 3rd with Corey Peabody in 2nd. It is a legal start. The start is legal. Up the backstretch, J. Michael Kelly. Beacon Electric, the U1. Look at the race for 3rd place up the backstretch. It's dead even between Dustin Eccles and Jamie Nielsen, but it's the strong boats out front. JMK trying to hold off Corey Peabody. This looks a lot like the first heat, John.
Yeah, but JMK got a better start, so he's in front of Corey right now.
Yeah, he can dictate that upper corner up there as he comes off the top, slides out to about lane 2 or 3.
Yeah, exactly. So
J. Michael Kelly. Going to come down hard. Corey's not going to let him go, though. This is going to be good. A couple of teammates and a couple of very good friends are going to go at it.
Jamie's in 3rd.
Jamie is in 3rd on the outside of Dustin. Look at the boat ride for JMK. He's flying it. He's really moving, John. He's got a good boat ride.
Yes.
Down to the bottom end of the race course, JMK has opened up water on teammate Corey Peabody. This would be a big win for Strong Racing and a big one for JMK. Yes. This would boost his confidence, but he's got to look in that right side mirror because he's got his buddy Corey Peabody right there in the Beacon Plumbing. We are halfway through our 2nd heat, H1 Unlimited Heat 2, sponsored by Rivertown Bar and Grill. It's almost a full rooster tail now for Kelly up the backstretch, and then it's a long way back to our 3rd place boat, which is Jamie Nielsen, and another rooster tail back to Dustin Eccles, who remains on the inside, and Nielsen will keep an eye on that one. But the race is at the top end. He's opened up a little bit water. JMK has.
He's got a rooster tail now. He can do whatever he wants.
He can go wherever he wants. He's got control of the race course.
Is Corey
all right, inside? Here they come down. Now should get a white flag. White flag for a clean start and a start of the final lap. It's going to be a white flag for Kelly with 1 to go. Corey on the outside. Kelly really looking strong here in our H1 Unlimited Heat 2, presented by Rivertown Bar and Grill. Bottom end of the course. JMK's just got to get through it clean. He's got about 3/4 of a lap to complete, and he'll come home with the 1st place on the water in our H1 Unlimited Heat 2. Corey does not want to let him go, but he's not chipping into the lead of his teammate JMK, John.
No, he's keeping it ahead. Full rooster tail now.
But exactly what you said, he can really control the race course once he gets a lead like that. Top end of the race course now underneath the Milton Madison Bridge. It is all J. Michael Kelly. over teammate Corey Peabody in the Beacon Plumbing. It's the Beacon Electric out front, then back to Miss Mercury's Coffee. Jamie Nielsen is in third. Fourth place will go to Bucket List Racing. Already off the top end of the race course. Here comes J. Michael Kelly. He sees the checkered flag. It hangs on the start-finish line tower. It is going to go to boat number 1, Beacon Electric. J. Michael Kelly, your winner of H1 Unlimited Heat 2. Second place going to go to teammate Corey Peabody, driving the Beacon Plumbing, the U9.
1-2 for the strong team.
1-2 again for the strong team, just a different order this time through. And here comes Jamie Nielsen, a good start to the racing weekend. This is their first heat and a solid third place finish for Jamie Nielsen in the Mercury's Coffee.
Yes. Dustin
Fourth
Eccles
place
coming fourth.
is going to go to Dustin Eccles in Bucket List Racing. And he comes across in fourth place. I think we're going to see a big smile on the face of JMK. That's got to give him some confidence. He was able to grab the inside lane and hold everybody off, and actually he extended the lead with every lap. He was moving out.
The big difference this time is JMK got a better start than Corey.
Yeah, I don't know if you can get a better start than he
exactly,
had. I'd like to see that one because he was right there.
And Corey just laid back a bit, and that made the big difference. JMK got in the first corner first, and he led the race after that.
And that's really it. A big chunk of this thing is get to that first turn first with a bunch of clean water and speed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he did. J. Michael Kelly. He gave a starting lesson to all of them on that one. I wasn't sure. I was glad to hear a clean start. That was close.
That was 2 perfect starts, and he had a really good start the first heat also.
Yeah.
But I think Corey had more speed on him on the first race.
Yeah, Mike brought a lot of speed to the line that time.
Yeah.
Crew members bending over so Mike can see him on the dock there, giving him thumbs up as that beautiful U1 Beacon Electric comes back to the dock. Here comes Corey. Got the lid open. I shudder to think how warm it gets inside there.
It gets very warm.
But you can't be.
And you work hard.
Yes.
You know, it doesn't last long, but you work so hard, so you get really hot in there.
Okay. So our boats are coming back to the dock. First place has returned. So has second place. Here comes Jamie Nielsen, our third place finisher. The Mercury's Coffee, you will see him come into view maybe momentarily. We got the camera right there on J. Michael Kelly at the dock. He has not yet come out of the cockpit of the U1. I think on the screen here, if we keep the shot right there, yeah, you're going to see Jamie Nielsen come right by in the background in the Mercury's Coffee as what I'm going to expect is going to be a pretty happy J. Michael Kelly. I think he'd take that start in the final.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
yep,
conversation with Mr.
Gets
Campbell.
a conversation there with the crew chief.
Yeah.
And, of course, Angela is right there with the requisite bottle of water. And we will keep an eye down on the dock. And Erica, I know, can hear us. And she will jump in as soon as she grabs J. Michael Kelly. Our fourth boat, the U40 Bucket List Racing and Dustin Eccles, has returned. So 4 went out, 4 came back. Another good heat of racing. And that start was dynamite.
Yes, absolutely. I had a couple of teams called the driver's rep there, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, we don't know. There's been a couple of teams. I don't know if that was that little issue here at the start. And I don't mean the start of the heat. I mean pulling out on the race course.
Exactly.
So I think Erica is going to have JMK here in just a moment. Let's throw it to Erica Allreed with J. Michael Kelly. Erica, take it away.
Thanks so much, Brad. A similar story told here in Heat 2, but this time with the U1 out front. Mike, what a race here again, from the race before the race to the checkers. What was the difference maker for you in this one as you found your way to the front?
Just a good start again. You know, it helps when you're leading the pack up to, at the start. So gave myself a little bit of cushion, was able to run a little harder on that inside lane in there. I kind of gave myself a little bit of a buffer during the milling period, so I didn't have to really run in lane 1, so that helped. I tell you what, it was super rough out there. Got pounding headache, my arm hurts, so I got to suck it up. But man, I can't say enough about the Beacon Electric guys, Beacon Plumbing guys, Daryl and Vanessa, thank you, Campbell Brothers, and of course all these guys. There's a lot of guys here working on these things, hurting themselves. Had one go to the hospital the other day, so yeah, just thanks to them, and thanks for continuing to work hard and make these things run better and better each time we go out.
And you told me earlier that the boat is down on power, but have you found it? Because it seemed like you did in that one.
I think it's getting there. I still think it's down on power, but that's why we're fighting as hard as we are for an inside lane. You know, so the guys will keep working. They'll find some more speed in these things, and you know, it doesn't end here. You know, it'll keep on going. So just really happy with the overall performance of my race boat. Corey's starting to pick up this weekend too, so the hard work's paying off.
It is indeed, and that was on full display in that one. So congratulations. We look forward to seeing you back out there tomorrow.
Yes, thank you. Hope everybody's enjoying, and there's a lot of great racing ahead of us.
Absolutely. Guys, back to you.
Thank you very much, Erica Ulrey. Jean Theoret, I saw you watching that interview there. We saw the smile on JMK's face. And I wanted to bring up something to you that he mentioned there. And the process never stops. The idea is to have the boat get better. Every single time you run, you're looking for that perfect race boat about 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, the thing that's so different, you know, you never know the water conditions, what it's going to be like tomorrow. So you're trying to set up for today, but tomorrow can be different, you know. Water can be nicer, it can be rougher, but of course, you know, they're trying to fine-tune it all the time.
So we had 2 heats of H1 Unlimited racing. Every one of our boats, at least I think, and this has got to be a big thing for race teams, that when you get to Saturday night, if you can head to the hotel and out to dinner with the team and your boat is totally intact.
Nothing broken.
Yeah, nothing's broken. Nobody has to stay up all night and thrash. That's got to be a good feeling.
It's very good. It's very good.
And I think that's what we've got. All of our boats started. All of our boats came back. They came back under their own power. You've got 2 of them there on the sling. And we saw some good racing. There were some people, me included, that expected a kind of a rebound weekend here for Strong Racing after not their best showing in Guntersville. Yes, it's only day 1, but the 2 Strong boats look pretty good.
Well, you know, they worked all week, you know, because they were very unhappy after Guntersville, and especially Corey. And I think Corey has really bounced back now. His confidence will come back, and I'm sure they're smiling. All of them are smiling tonight.
What I want to see tomorrow morning, we only saw 1 heat today out of the 91, the Goodman Real Estate and Andrew Tate. We know that boat is a rocket, but they showed up with a 3rd-place finish in their first heat. So, you know, they'll be talking over dinner tonight about what they're going to do. Mike Hansen's not the guy to just stand pat.
Yeah, Mike Hansen is going to work on that thing tonight and make sure everything's a top 1 notch for tomorrow. And, you know, I'm sure that Andrew is going to be fighting for lanes tomorrow and trying to get some 400 points out there.
So we just got it in our ear that everything was clean on the water.
Yes.
Everything was clean on the water, so that's a good thing. Now we just have to wait for the boats to go through tech inspection, and we'll have that type of information as soon as we get it, and we'll pass it along on the H1 Unlimited live stream. But Jean Theoret, this has been a lot of fun. I really appreciate you coming up here.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, we're going to do it again tomorrow. We're going to do it 4 times. We're going to do 3 prelims and a final.
Sounds great.
It gets pretty crowded up here, and we get the governor and all his people up here, and but you and I got a pretty choice spot.
Yeah, we got a privileged spot.
Yes, we do. Jean Theoret, thank you very much. Let's do it again tomorrow.
Well, thank you for having me on.
Anytime, my friend, anytime. Jean Theoret, he's going to head down to Scott and Shannon Rainey's in the U11 to Miss Mercury Coffee's team with whom he visits. What a privilege and a pleasure to have that gentleman on the pipes with me. He's a fun guy. I've known him for a long time, and he's the consummate gentleman and certainly a champion, and not only a champion on the H1 Unlimited side, but we could talk for days about his Grand Prix resume. Somebody was telling me last night that if you walk through the crowd in Valleyfield, Quebec, where they have the Valleyfield Regatta, he is a legend, and he literally can't go 10, 15 steps without being stopped by people. He is Jean Theoret. So good racing. I like the new format. It's so far it seems to work. We got pretty close on that score-up start. I wasn't sure if maybe somebody was going to jump and have to be told to move to the outside. They did not. And that start for that particular heat was mighty close, mighty close. But it all came through clean on the water, so now it's just a matter of tech inspection. I'm going to do my best to stay here with it until we get at least the tech inspection report on JMK's ride. But the heat was clean on the water. That's the first step. So our boats are returning to the trailers. I see the U11. Mercury's Coffee is just about back on their trailer. But either way, it is a very, very good day for strong racing. Both the U1 and the U9 showed very strong today. Each of them scored 700 points today, at least on the water. Each boat taking a first and a second, and each boat taking a first and a second to each other. So they swapped spots. They started in the same lanes in the first heat as they did in the second heat. But you heard Jean Theoret say, but the big difference was the boat speed and the start that JMK had in that second heat. He was right on the button. We talked earlier about one of the aspects that H1 Unlimited wanted to affect with this new start procedure was getting the boats bunched up at the start. I'm not sure you're going to see a better four-boat start than we just had that time. They were all together. They were all wide open, and it was a great shot when they came across start finish. So close, we kind of held our breath, but it turned out they were all legal. Still monitoring the H1 side of things. I would expect we might get some feedback starting here very shortly. I'm going to see if we have a schedule. So we just heard again in our ears that the driver's representative has been called. We don't know what that's about. If I was a betting man, and I'm not sure that I am a betting man, I would think the topic of discussion might be how the boats exited the pit area at the start. That got a little dicey, it got a little tight, and a couple of boats got a long drink of water. So we'll see how that plays out. That's nothing official, that's only supposition on my part. There's a reason I am an announcer and not a referee because I don't make those kind of calls. The guys standing to my left do, and there's three of them. And I understand right now that our Erica Allreed has caught up with Corey Peabody, our second place finisher on the water. Corey, you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks so much, Brad. Yes, here with our second place finisher, Corey Peabody. Corey, 1-2 finishes on the day. A great effort considering where we were a week ago. So are you happy with what you got out of yourself in the boat here today?
Yeah, I'm plenty happy. The team did a great job, and there's beacon on both boats, so it's a win no matter what. We went 1-2, first and second heat today, so I couldn't be happier. I'm happy for Beacon Plumbing, happy for Beacon Electric, Clifty Engineering, all our team. So it's a great time, and it's going to be nice to get our feet down and watch the fireworks tonight.
Absolutely. And any change in the game plan going into tomorrow? Is there anything that you're looking for more in the boat, or maybe you as a driver, or same game plan given some success today?
Well, we'll see what we get out of the tech truck with this and, see where we're at there. So I can't really answer that right now, but happy to get 1-2, and hopefully we can do it all again tomorrow.
Look forward to seeing you back out there. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you. Good job.
Thank you very much, Erica. Nice interview there with Corey Peabody. And Corey's very happy, but like Jeff Ayler, Jordan Baird, just to my right, we're all waiting for tech inspection and waiting for something to come through there from H1. I'm getting a shake of the head in the wrong direction from Tana Morissette. Tana says it in such a way that she says it like it's her fault. No, I know, we're all looking at Tana like, come on, get us the answer. She's waiting just like we are. She will pass it along the moment she has it. But a good day here at the 2024 Madison Regatta, the race for the Indiana Governor's Cup. We had good racing on the Pro Light side. We had a very good final heat on the Pro Light side. Our Grand Prix boats put on a very, very good show. They were loud and proud, and they'll be ready to go again tomorrow. And our H1 Unlimited hydroplanes did not disappoint. I thought the show was very, very good. Madison, Indiana, you've now had an opportunity to see our new start procedure, and it worked today. I think it did what it was intended to do, which was bunch the boats up at the start, not have to worry about an 80-mile-per-hour rule, and keep the racing on the water, and that's where we wanted it. That's where we got it. We'll see what comes of the discussion with the driver's rep. But for right now, everything looked pretty good from here. We'll just find out what the tech inspection looks like. The first day of racing, the second day of the Madison Regatta is in the books. I do not have a schedule in front of me, for tomorrow. We will talk about that schedule as soon as I get it shoved to me. And Tana may not know who's cleared the tech inspection, but I think she's got a schedule. It's got changes to it, and she's not sure it's right, but it might be close. Let's take a look at it anyway. Let's see what we've got. So tomorrow it appears, now this is definitely subject to change because, as you know, at unlimited hydroplane races or even Grand Prix races, the schedule you get handed is outdated before it spits out the end of the printer. These things change a lot, but right now it is looking like we have an open testing session tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. And again, these times, for those of you listening on our H1 Unlimited YouTube channel, these are Eastern Daylight Time. So at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, the course will open for testing for an hour. Then at 9:45, we're going to have opening ceremonies. Those will take place here at the start-finish line right behind the overlook. And then we go pro light racing with their Heat 1 for Sunday. That comes up at 10 o'clock. And then H1 Unlimited Heat 3 is set to go at 10:30. Then we go Grand Prix 3A, Grand Prix 3B, then H1 Unlimited Heat 4, and then we take a break, and then it's Grand Prix, Pro Light, Unlimited Light, and we build toward a final. So right now the schedule I have begins at 9 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time with open testing, followed by opening ceremonies at 9:45. All subject to change, but I'm thinking with the opening ceremonies there, that may not move because we'll have a number of dignitaries that will be here. And it's always a fun time here at the Madison Regatta during opening ceremony. So if you're here on site, and I know there's a lot of people that are watching the live stream that are on site because I ran into a lot of them when we broke away for lunch. If you want to come down here, we'd love to have you for the pageantry that is the 2024 Madison Regatta. I'm going to step away from the microphone. I'm going to go over and see if I can't squeeze this information out, but I'm not going to be able to affect that. But I'll come back. I will come back the moment I know if any or all of our boats have cleared tech inspection. Brad Luce for Erica Allreed on the 2024 H1 Unlimited's coverage of the 2024 Madison Regatta and the Indiana Governor's Cup. Stand by. I'll be right back. Brad Luce again here on start-finish line. We have just been advised by H1 Unlimited. Tana Morissette gave us the word that the U9, the Beacon Plumbing, Corey Peabody's ride, has cleared tech inspection. Do not know yet about the U1, J. Michael Kelly's ride. As I said, typically they will do them in order, but somehow we got Corey Peabody's number up here first. So the U9 and Corey Peabody, the Beacon Plumbing, has cleared tech inspection. I'll step away. As soon as I get another boat, I will advise everyone. Stand by. Welcome back to the start-finish line tower here on the Ohio River. It is the 2024 Madison Regatta and the Indiana Governor's Cup. We have been standing by for quite some time now for official and final results from our Heat 2 of H1's Unlimited Racing. On the water, it was J. Michael Kelly coming home first, and second place going to teammate Corey Peabody in Beacon Plumbing. And third place went to Bucket List Racing and Dustin Eccles. It checked that fourth place, and third place going to the MissMercurys.com. But we have had a change as the black box, the data acquisition system aboard the U1, the Beacon Electric, J. Michael Kelly's ride, came back empty. There was no data on the black box. They went through it, went into the box. No data was recorded for the heat. By rule, in the rule book, the letter of the law, if there is no data in the data acquisition system, and if it comes back empty, it is a DSQ, a disqualification. So unfortunately, U1, the Beacon Electric, and J. Michael Kelly has been disqualified from their victory in H1 Unlimited Heat 2. Therefore, our winner is U9, Beacon Plumbing, Corey Peabody. He now comes home in first place. Second place goes to the U11, MissMercurys.com. Jamie Nielsen driving that one. Third place to Bucket List Racing and Dustin Eccles. Unfortunately, a disqualification. No points would be assigned to the U1, Beacon Electric, and J. Michael Kelly. A tough break. They drove a beautiful race. Mike nailed a start on an inside lane and held off everybody. It was a very impressive run. Unfortunately, there was no data in the quote-unquote black box, the data acquisition box that they take out of the boats. We started to wonder if maybe something was up when we got that the second place boat, then the third place, then the fourth place boat had all cleared, but we didn't get any information with regards to our first place finisher. In the end, that's what it turned out to be per rule, to the letter of the law in the rule book. If there's no data in the data acquisition system, it is a disqualification. Tough break for down there in Strong Racing, but J. Michael Kelly, Beacon Electric, gets the DSQ. First place goes to Beacon Plumbing, Corey Peabody. He'll come home with 400 points in that one, so it was a very good day for Corey here. He got 2 first place finishes. MissMercurys.com, Jamie Nielsen, he will come home in second place. That's going to be 300 points and 225 points to Dustin Eccles and Bucket List Racing, the U40. That is official. That is final. That's the way it will go in the books. And that will bring to conclusion day 2 of 3 here of the 2024 Madison Regatta, the Indiana Governor's Cup. My name is Brad Luce. We've been sitting here on the tower awaiting a final and official decision from our officials. We have it. With that, we will sign off until tomorrow morning. The gates will open, I believe, at 8 o'clock, but at 9 o'clock we will have boats on the water with an open testing section. Then at close to 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, we will have our opening ceremonies, and we will go to town on day 3 of 3. A good day of racing here on the water. You do not want to miss it tomorrow when we culminate the 2024 Madison Regatta and the Indiana Governor's Cup. For Erica Allreed, the entire H1 Unlimited live stream staff, this is Brad Luce saying so long from Madison, Indiana. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Good night, everybody.